together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think that's as far as I'm putting it out today. I don't have a very good attitude. We're going to keep this one in the Trudging Together family. Dion. Yeah. I did not wake up very happy. So, just notice the lights aren't up. They fell down. They all fell down. So you can see it. You can see the string right there. Yeah, those are the lights. So the sticky on them sucks. But at least I got to do one. So everything I did yesterday didn't work. That's why I'm frustrated. Like even the curtains are backwards. Those are backwards. It's not too long and it's not put up right. It's just that there's nothing in my house where it's supposed to be right now. And when it's like that, it drives me crazy. But we had to get rid of a bunch of junk. And because of that, we had to move around a bunch of shit to move shit. You know how it is. You move shit to move shit. And then you got to put that shit back. I don't want to. So everything's in disarray. It drives me crazy. Cats didn't have any food, so they're up my butt. I don't like when I wake up and people want things from me. I just want to punch you. If you want something from me, okay. So let's get started on spiritual health. I think we're gonna be in the big book today. Das Big Book. Welcome, Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Looks like page 64. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. This is the big book. It is our fond name for the book because it is big. But if you try and buy the big book, you will get a much different book. So you're going to want to buy the book Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay. The new book. Ooh, right there. Hey, Chris, you didn't call me before the meeting yesterday. You said you were going to call me before the meeting and you did not. And then you didn't show up. I waited. All right. So 64. What are we trying to get to here? Because it's the end of the third into the fourth. So are they trying to, when the spiritual malady is overcome? Okay. That would be step 4. So therefore, we started upon a personal inventory. This was step 4. A business which takes no regular inventory usually goes broke. Excuse me. Taking a commercial inventory is a fact-finding and fact-facing process. It is an effort to discover the truth about the stock and trade. A lot of burpees this morning. One object is to disclose damaged or unsellable goods, to get rid of them promptly and without regret. If the owner of the business is to be successful, he cannot fool himself about values. Right. So before that, I talked about that we had to, our liquor was but a symptom. We had to get down to causes and conditions. Right. So my fourth step, which is over there on the floor where it shouldn't be, it's all right. I love you anyway, Chris. Hey, it's day to day, man. So I just wanted you to know that I remembered you. So, so causes and conditions. So I'm going to use my mom as an example. We all know that I love my mommy. So if you think I'm talking shit about my mom, you are incorrect. And if you ever talk shit about my mom, I will beat the fuck out of you. Don't talk shit around me. Okay? I'm a reactive person. I'm the kind of person where I don't mind making amends. I don't mind making amends. It doesn't bother me. Hi, Andy. Good to see you. It's good to see you. Yes, Chris, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm getting old too. You know what? I forget fucking everything now. I don't know what it is. Everything just slips my mind. Do you remember that we were going? No, I sure don't. Unless it's in my calendar, good chance I may not remember. But and that's not true. I'm just having fun. So let's say it came down to my mom, right? When we had to get to causes and conditions. So I had my mom's name, right? But then I only had this one line to write my grudge. So I didn't get to write a story about all the things that she did to me. I had to get down to causes and conditions. Was I angry that she put me away at 14? Yes. Was I angry that she put a drug charge against me when I was younger? Yes. Was that the causes and conditions? No. Those were particulars. Those were instances. Those were situational. What it came down to is I felt like I was treated differently than the other children. Now we're working with something. Now we've gotten down to the root cause. It's like a weed. Now I have found the bottom. I have found where that root is. I'm going to take that motherfucker. I'm going to yank it out of the ground. Root and all. Root and all. Okay. We did exactly the same thing with our lives. We took stock honestly. First, we searched out the flaws in our makeup which caused our failure. Being convinced that self manifested itself in various ways was what had defeated us. We considered its common manifestations. What are the common manifestations? Well, security. Um, I need, I need, I need some cheat list here. Self-esteem, personal relations, sex relations, security. It affected all of those. But those are the lump sum of the common manifestations. Okay. So all those manifestations have one thing in common, and that one thing is fear. Now, it's fear, which I do not consider a character defect. I consider it a common manifestation. No, you're not, Chris. No, you're not. Okay. Don't talk about my friends like that. Okay. We're not beating up on ourselves today. Okay. We're not doing that today. You are not selfish and self centered. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. Yeah, it's not alcohol that destroys more alcoholics than anything else. It's resentments. Anger, fear. That'll kill you before alcohol. And I'll tell you why. because when you drink, alcohol takes your feelings and intensifies them by about 10. So then you can take your anger and make it rage. Well, your heart can't handle that it can only handle it for so long. Physically, it will destroy you. You'll have a heart attack and you'll be dead. You'll have a stroke. I'm not kidding. That's exactly what happens to people in AA. You're more likely to have a heart attack before you are. You're more likely to have a heart attack than you are to die from drinking. Depends. It just all depends. It depends on one thing, on whether you pass out on your back. Isn't that weird that that's the determination on how we die, on whether we pass out when we're totally fucking drunk on our back. Okay. If somebody has been using or is overly drunk in detox, we make sure that people are sleeping on their sides. Did you know that? Yeah. Because we don't want them to asphyxiate on their vomit if they throw up. That's detox. Okay. Do you want to be there? Would you like to be a client? If so, hold on to those resentments. Have a shitty attitude. Okay. No, thank you. I don't want to go back there. And I'm in a bad mood today. Actually, I'm not in a bad mood. I'm frustrated and I don't want to. You ever have those days? I just don't want to. So I'm still gonna, but I don't want to. I wish, I really wish I felt different about those things. It'd be nice to wake up excited about life. I don't get that because of my dreams, but nothing really excites me anymore. So when I wake up, it's like I don't have this zest for life like other people do. I'm like, oh, here we go again. So I'm trying to get better at that. When the spiritual, from it stem all forms. I'm going to say it one more time. From it stem all forms of spiritual disease. For we have not been only mentally and physically ill. Let's not forget emotionally. We have been spiritually sick. Good point, Mandy. Thank you. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. In dealing with resentments, we set them on paper. We listed people, institutions, and principles with whom we were angry. We asked ourselves why we were angry. Okay? There's that grudge list. Why were we angry? We're going to get down to causes and conditions. Okay? We got to get to the root. Because if you don't get to the root, it's going to fester. It's going to come back. Just like a weed would. Okay? If you don't get that sucker, okay? Fearless and thorough. Don't worry about it. There's bugs, there's dirt, there's worms, there's gross things in the dirt. Don't worry. God's got you. Don't have to worry about that. Okay? See, part of the problem is that we're so busy watching our backs that we don't watch what's in front of us. A paranoia of are people talking about us and this and this and that. And then we're going to miss out on what's going on in front of us. God may have a miracle for you today. You want to be able to see it. We have asked ourselves why we're angry. In most cases, it was found that our self-esteem, our pocketbooks, our ambitions, our personal relationship, including sex, were hurt or threatened. So we were sore. We were burned up, right? Hurt or threatened. What is that? That's fear. All right. Now, get out the weed whacker. That's right. We go. I actually need one. I'm done. So I'm gonna skip this grudge list. This example. I'm gonna go down to the bottom of the book. We went back through our lives. Nothing counted but thoroughness and honesty. When we were finished, we considered it carefully. So I get this. Should it be on this one? I don't know if it should be on this one. Yes. The answer is yes. Okay. If you're trying, let me put it this way. Let's say you think of somebody and you're not sure whether they should be on the list, then they need to go on the list. Don't second guess that, because you'd rather that they were on the list to find out that there was nothing than to not put them on the list to find out later on in life in therapy that you should have put them on the list. Okay? If they cross your mind, there's a good chance they need to be on the list, because you're not thinking it all the way through yet. Well, you guys have. If you've done a 4-step, now you think about it. All right. I'll give a good example. Every time I do the 4-step with somebody, they don't understand pocketbook. They're like, Mom, pocketbook. Did it affect your pocketbook? No. You never stole from your mom? Well, yeah. Then it affected your pocketbook. My little sister didn't affect my pocketbook. Oh, she didn't get more than you? Oh, yeah, she got a lot more than me. It affected your pocketbook. See, that's why you need a guide to say, we got to think one step further. As an alcoholic, as somebody with a spiritual malady, I need to think one step further or I'm dead. Okay? See, that part where we're thinking is as far as most of us got. We must go further. Okay? When we were finished careful, the first thing apparent was that this world and its people were often quite wrong. So what? Right? Now, so what? Let them be wrong. Let them talk. Right? Let them be wrong. They're figuring out life. Leave them alone. Right? Okay? We're so, excuse me. I'm going to give a what I think is a good example. Let's say somebody says something, but they say it wrong, but you knew what they said. You knew what they meant. Don't correct them. Don't correct them. Why? Why do you feel the need to correct them? They know they said it wrong. There's a good chance they're going to say, oh, no, what I meant was, but I don't say anything anymore. I just continue listening. If they bring it up, then I say, yeah, I knew what you meant. Why? I do not feel the need to correct that anymore. Before, I felt the need to correct it because I felt superior. A lot of times, we're reading out of the book on Thursday nights, and sometimes people have a harder time with a word, and I do everything I can not to correct them. Now, if they're having a hard time with the word, I'll say it to help them, but even then, I have a hard time. See? Yeah. Okay. To conclude that others was wrong, we're as far as most of us ever got. See? Right? The usual outcome was that people continued to wrong us and we stayed sore. Sometimes it was remorse, and then we were sore at ourselves. But the more we fought and tried to have our own way, the worse matters got. As in war, the victor only seemed to win. Our moments of triumph were short-lived. Yeah, very, very short-lived. All right. It is plain that life, which includes deep resentment, leads only to futility and unhappiness. To the precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile? But with the alcoholic whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely great. We have found that it is fatal. For when harboring such feelings, we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the spirit. The insanity of alcohol returns and we drink again. And with us, to drink is to die. If we were to live, we had to be free of anger. I have to be free of anger. I know there's quite sometimes when I'm frustrated and think, but anger is not really, you know, I get angry, but I don't use anger, you know, yeah. In any form, it's just no good. What my brain's trying to do is justify it, and it ain't working. Even frustration isn't that good for us, right? Um, but what we really wanted, you know, here's the thing: is when it comes down to it, I let a lot of people in this world dominate my feelings, and I have to learn not to do that. Okay, now I want you to hear how I said that. I allow a lot of people in this world to dominate my emotions. I allow that. Okay, this isn't done intentionally. It's just part of what goes on in the world. Okay, so it isn't that the world's personally attacking me. It's just the world's angry, man. They're angry. They're hurting. And when we hurt, it comes out in anger. It's our first human, it's going to come out in one of two ways. It's going to come out in anger or depression. One of those two ways. And I see a lot of it around. Now, I may be frustrated. I may even be angry, but I don't hate. No, I don't have hate. I don't hate anybody. I don't even hate situations anymore. I get frustrated with them. But I'm finding out that there's reasons for all of it, for the whole thing. So, just a little bit of advice. Let it go. Let it all go. It's not fucking worth it. It's not. You know, I can either spend my day being upset with a person or a situation, or I can try and make the world a better place. Or I can hide. Two of those things aren't really good for us, aren't good for me. Isolation is just as bad as anger. So, and right now I want to isolate. I do. I don't want to. But so there's too many people in this house for me to isolate. My life is set up to succeed. So, but I think that's what resentment, then this is, so what are the good things behind all this? Well, the freedom that you're going to get. You're going to get a freedom, and that's because you're not carrying around all this dead weight. You're not carrying around yes, I'm seeing them. Some of them. I got one that says hello. Just so you all know, I don't know what's going on with Restream in the chat, but it hasn't been the best. It hasn't been that good. So, I see you guys are sending me messages over here also. Thanks, Mandy. All right. I'm going to check over here, Michelle, to see. Um, did you come in and I didn't say hi? I knew you were here. If I didn't say hi, I apologize. So, okay. Yeah. Well, you should wonder because before they weren't working. So I would wonder. You bet. I would wonder. So, you know, yeah, I'm glad that we got asked to do something. We got asked to do a pride parade. And I'm excited about this. Funny what excites me. And it's because I want to go out there and show these young men that there are other men in this world that are heterosexual that give a fuck. Would it be inappropriate of me to wear a shirt that says free hugs for gay men? Because that's the shirt I want to wear. I'm not gay. No. Oh, I love women. Trust me. But I'm certainly not homophobic. It was funny because my stepdad called me homophobic one time. I'm like, fuck you. No, I'm not. I just don't want to hug you. That's what I told him. I said, I don't want to hug you. Okay? No, it's you I don't want to hug. I don't know you well enough. He got it eventually. We had a little turbulence in the beginning of our relationship. We get along great now, though. And we yell at each other, too. What do you mean, fucking? But he knows when it comes to the hard chores, I'm the only one he's got. So my brothers aren't as, yeah. They haven't had to do what I did in order to survive. I had to be a little bit tougher. Okay. Um, I've had to figure out how this life works with a screwdriver and duct tape. You know, yeah, I'm not homophobic. I love everybody. Doesn't mean I want to have sex with you. In fact, I got called gay a lot when I was growing up. So I really don't care. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me. So resentment, spiritual health, man. So I do know that when I work on my spiritual health, everything else seems to fall into place. Right? Unless it was yesterday, then my lights fall down. Even my big badass speaker blew. Yeah. Now I have no music in here. I lost my speaker. I am never buying another piece of Behringer equipment again. I highly recommend do not buy Behringer. Their power circuits just they always fucking blow. So anyway, all right. I think that's going to be it for today and for this round. I have a meeting in an hour and a half. I chair the Thursday meetings for the 3 o'clock. Thursdays usually is a lot for me. So, all right. Thank you everybody for being here. I love you. Peace out and have a